Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to the convocation ceremony for the Texas MSTC class of 2019. I'm Trent Thurman, Director of the MSTC program, and I'm honored to preside over today's ceremony. Today we celebrate the students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Science in Technology Commercialization degree. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome the families, friends, loved ones, and faculty of this graduating class. Speaking of those people, and you graduates certainly know this, everyone here contributed to your success over the past year. So I want to take a few minutes to recognize these important people. First, the families. Will all spouses, partners, parents, grandparents, children, and other family members stand if you are able so that you may be recognized? Thank you for all of your support and encouragement. Next, our distinguished faculty. Our world-class faculty are the heart and soul of the MSTC program. They teach with dedication, enthusiasm, and passion. Thank you for all you do for our graduates. Next, Dr. Lewis Martins, Chair of the Department of Management and Faculty Director of the MSTC program. Lewis, thank you for your support and guidance. Last but certainly not least, the MSTC team that has served you well over the past year. Stuart Bone, Justin White. And even though she's only been here with us for a short time, Sue Teal. And not with us today, Mandy Reyes and Melissa Murphy, but let's give them a round of applause as well. On September 12, 1962, while speaking at Rice University, President Kennedy proclaimed, "We choose to go to the moon and do other things in this decade, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one that we're unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win." And I bring this speech up for two reasons. First, one could argue that Kennedy's speech was the genesis of MSTC. You see, a few decades later, NASA approached the University of Texas, specifically the IC² Institute, and seeking advice on how to commercialize NASA-related technologies that had been developed as a result of the space race during the 60s and 70s and beyond. This engagement resulted in a contract that led to the development of a commercialization strategy for NASA and the foundation and building blocks for a unique master's program focused on getting new technologies and ideas to market. And that program is what we now know today as MSTC, the first program of its kind in the nation. And that's pretty cool. The other reason I bring up this speech is because I believe it embodies the spirit of our MSTC graduates. Giving up your weekends and spending an additional 20 or 25 hours per week on schoolwork, in addition to your responsibilities with work and family, is not easy. Being away from family, friends, and loved ones is not easy. Seeing and hearing a boisterous crowd tailgating directly outside your class window on a beautiful fall football Saturday is not easy. Dr. Dyer's final is not easy. But I know these graduates before us today did not apply to MSTC because it was easy, but rather because it was hard and challenging and at times even stressful. But in the end, I believe very, very well worth it. And my hope is that the MSTC experience served to organize and measure the best of your energies and skills and has now prepared you to develop new technologies, launch new businesses, and ultimately change the world. So I congratulate all of you on this wonderful achievement. You have earned this day and should be proud of all of your hard work. I know it wasn't easy, and without a doubt, you will continue to make a profound impact professionally and in your communities. I am confident of this because of what you have already shown through your leadership here at McCombs. As students, you have shaped the MSTC experience for the entire McCombs community and left the program better than you found it. During your academic pursuits, you have formed strong bonds with your classmates and you've extended your network for years to come. Today, we are honored to award you a graduate degree from the University of Texas at Austin, one of the premier universities in the world. And as you begin your lives beyond the MSTC program, we couldn't be more proud to call you alumni of the McCombs School of Business and the University of Texas at Austin. Congratulations. Members of the audience will notice that some of our students are wearing honor cords with their graduation robes. I'd like to ask our graduates wearing the red, white, and blue cords to stand. We'd like to recognize these students for their unwavering commitment to our nation, for having served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Please join me in thanking our active duty and military veterans for their service to our country. The gold cords identify the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence. Recipients of the Dean's Award earned an overall grade point average of 3.8 or better during the entire MSTC program. I ask all graduates wearing honor cords to stand to be recognized for your academic accomplishments. We'd also like to acknowledge those of you who helped with our recruiting efforts this year. So will our admissions ambassadors please stand? Thank you for all of your work. Finally, I've been told that in addition to being graduation day, it is also one of our graduates' birthdays. So, Miles Murray, a very happy birthday to you. I'm just the messenger. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jay Hartzell. Jay is the Centennial Chair in Business Education Leadership, the Lois and Richard Folger Dean's Leadership Chair, Trammell Crow Regents Professor in Business, and the Dean of the McCombs School of Business. Please join me in welcoming Dean Jay Hartzell.
Thanks a lot, Trent. Before I get into my remarks, I want to take a minute. Trent already recognized Professor Lewis Martins, who chairs the management department, but I also want to say thanks to Trent for your leadership of this program. I think this program has truly flourished under Lewis and Trent. So would you join me in a round of applause for Trent as well, please? So as Trent said, I'm Jay Hartzell, and I'm really proud and fortunate to serve as the Dean of the McCombs School of Business. As Dean of the McCombs School, I have the pleasure of speaking at 6 graduation ceremonies this weekend. This is 5 out of 6, it's a home stretch. So it's a lot of experience and some expertise that I say graduation is truly an exciting time. It's a really special occasion to celebrate all that you've accomplished since arriving to campus. For our graduating class and your families and friends, I would encourage you to just take a moment and reflect on how much things have changed since you started this program. We believe that your graduating has changed individuals. Meanwhile, you've left your own marks on this program and our school and our university. One thing that has not changed is the excellence that you have shown since the day one of the McCombs School. Graduates, your intelligence, your integrity, your dedication to excellence has been on display as you have pursued your degrees. From here on, the sky is the limit. I look forward to seeing the places you will go. And I know that wherever life takes you, you will continue to make a profound impact. You are all an extension of our program, and your successes are our successes. That means we'll take full credit for them all. And we hope that you return here to the 40 acres and share your stories of how you're learning, growing, and making a difference as you pursue successful careers. So above all, please just stay in touch. Stay involved with the University of Texas and stay involved in the McCombs School of Business. I say this because one of the greatest assets of our school and this program is our alumni network. When alumni choose to invest in their own network and the network of the MSTC program, you're adding value to your own degree. Your degree, those who came before you, and those who will come after you. And because of that, we're very honored to have you represent the McCombs School as you embark on your careers. I have full confidence that you, as graduates of the MSTC class of 2019, will make an impact wherever you go. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still need to give you your degrees. We've come with some business to do, and so I'm going to hand it back over to Trent in a minute. But let me end by saying to all of our graduates, and on behalf of the faculty, please allow me to say a heartfelt congratulations and hook 'em horns. Congratulations. With that, let me turn it back over to Trent. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Our commencement speaker today is Dr. Bob Metcalf, and our graduates were fortunate to hear from Dr. Metcalf at the beginning of their MSTC journey last year. So I think it only appropriate that they receive further advice, wisdom, and inspiration as they graduate. Dr. Metcalf is an internet pioneer beginning in 1970 at MIT, Harvard, Xerox PARC, Stanford, and 3Com. In 1973, he invented Ethernet. You heard that right. He invented Ethernet at Xerox PARC. In 1979, he founded 3Com Corporation, the multi-billion-dollar Silicon Valley networking startup that went public in 1984 and merged into HP in 2010. During the 1990s, Bob was publisher pundit at IDG InfoWorld. During the 2000s, he was a general partner of Polaris Venture Partners. And since 2011, Bob is professor of innovation in the Cockrell School of Engineering and professor of entrepreneurship here at the McCombs School of Business. Bob is a member of the National Academy of Engineering and received the National Medal of Technology for leadership in the invention, standardization, and commercialization of Ethernet. Please welcome Dr. Bob Metcalf.
Thank you very much. What a high honor. It's always nice to be asked your opinion, but to be asked to express your opinion in front of such an important audience for an entire hour is just 15 minutes. So I'm going to talk about four things. I want to share with you my opinion about what the most important new fact is about the human condition. I'd like to discuss some of the pathologies of that fact, that is what goes wrong. I'd like to talk about social networking, which is one of the pathologies, and how to fix it. And then I'm going to remind you that you're graduating to a high calling, technology commercialization. So let me begin with the most important new fact. The most important new fact about the human condition is that we are connected. We've had the mail, we've had the telegraph, we had the telephone starting in 1876, radio, television. Television was born the same year I was, 1946, and then the internet most recently. So as of today, 55% of the 7.6 billion people on Earth are on the internet. And they got on the internet since October 29th, 1969. So I claim that was sudden. Well, we know 50 years is, I'm older than 50 years, so we know that that's sudden, and it's that suddenness that has produced the pathologies that I'm going to list in a moment. And it's not just the reach, it's not just that we're reaching 7.6 billion people times 55%, but we're reaching them with mobile access at higher speeds. You know, when we started this, a high speed was 300 bits per second, and now we're talking about gigabits per second and terabits per second. And then there's the latencies, the ability to reach people measured in milliseconds. All of these are a sudden increase in connectivity in the world. And then there are the devices that we feed with all this connectivity, devices made possible by Moore's Law and the advance of semiconductors. This has been such a sudden onslaught of connectivity, we are still dealing with it. We are still struggling to how to manage it. And by the way, here we are still struggling to manage the last internet, the megabit internet, and even now the gigabit internet is about to arrive. So this notion of constant challenge from connectivity is going to continue. So let me talk about pathologies of this connectivity. And by pathologies, I mean unintended, unwanted consequences. And like the automobile had pathologies. Many of you are familiar with automobiles. Well, they pollute and they kill 40,000 Americans a year. Those are pathologies, but still we use automobiles. Electricity, it pollutes, but it makes the internet possible. And free enterprise, which is a technology of economics, it has its pathologies, like economic bubbles, like the bubbles we're in now. Bubbles that are going to burst, and you just want to be sure to be on the winning side when they do, because a lot of people are hurt when bubbles burst. The internet has had its pathologies: pornography, spam, security breaches. I wrote the first memo reporting a security breach of the internet in 1973. We haven't quite finished solving that pathology. Fake news and the associated censorship thereof. Polarization caused by that fake news. Distortions of social interaction, like all the millennials in their parents' basement typing into Facebook. And then there's the monopolies, the Googles and the Facebooks and the Amazons who seem to have become monopolistic. So what are we going to do about these monopolies? That's a current events. Governments are anxious to regulate them, break them up, and then shut them down. We could just fire the founders, you know, Zuckerberg. Not sure how we fire him. He has 60% voting control of his company. We can just undo their acquisitions, which have added to their monopoly power. Or we can split them into grand falloons. In other words, a Facebook for everybody whose last name begins A to I, and then another Facebook for everyone whose last name is J through R, and then a third Facebook to handle S through Z. Does that sound like a good idea? No. How about we rent 3 new buildings along 101, and then we go to headquarters of Facebook, and we take 1/3 of the people and put them in each of the new buildings. And we take all the software, we make a copy. So we create 3 Facebooks and then pit them against each other. Now that's a more promising idea. And you heard it first here. And now, how about your predicament, the class of 2019 MSTC? A very high calling is technology commercialization. And one of the biggest assets you've accumulated in the last year is sitting right next to you. The MSTC network you have is very valuable. So it's not over today. I urge you to cherish this network and add to it and grow it in coming years. It'll be very useful to you. Probably because the innovation system that you now face isn't working very well. The agencies in Washington that sponsor science are very disappointed at the low result, the low impact of the research that they're financing. The NSF and the NIH have created an innovation corps whose purpose is to start companies to try to do a better job of getting impact from their research. And then there are the universities like ours, which aren't very good at innovation either. I mean, we spend $600 million a year on research, and we get $20 million a year in royalties on that. So there are the universities are not happy either, so they're welcoming your arrival. So I've shared with you a view of the most important new fact. By the way, how many of you buy that connectivity is the most important new fact? You could signify by going, I. I've tried to convince you briefly that the network that you've created is of the greatest value. So look to the right, look to the left, and be sure to stick with these people. And you don't have to found a company to be a technology commercializer. You could be founderati. The founderati are the glamorous people who start companies, including founders, but there are many more people who are not founders who are founderati. So if you can't found your own company, join somebody else's and be founderati. And finally, in under an hour, I'd like to wish you all congratulations on graduating and thank you for letting me come today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob, for your continued support of MSTC. We really appreciate it. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the individual recognition of our graduates. It's my pleasure to welcome MSTC Program Manager Stuart Bone to the stage at this time.
Graduates, when I call your name, please proceed to the stage where you will be presented with a degree certificate. I will also call the names to recognize those who are unable to join us today. Adetunji Adegbola. Adeni Agbola. Gabriel Arce Jr. Sophie Lee Babo. Amy Berrig. Ian Bideau. Mark C. Blazik. Michael Brown. Camille May Kane. Daniel Cantu. Rachel Chen. Gregory Collins. Kyle Day. Danny De Los Santos. Jeremy R. Deaver. Ibrahim Dicko. Jonathan Major Ellis. Chuck Gamero. Shailesh Ganju. J.B. Garza. Samara Gasca. Matt Glazer. Maya Gonzalez. Estella Hale. Timothy Hall. Freddie Herrera. Antonio Hornsby Sr. Paul Huang. Juan Pablo Huerta. Su Chun Hung. Brian G. Alagan. Jamie D. Jones. Vanessa K. Juppy. Daniel Nathan Kalinowski. Daniel Kearns. Elijah Kelly. Patrick Joseph Kelly. Henry Kim. Eric Kinye. Lisa Kotler. Patrick Gordon Lefebvre. Jeffrey Lines. Adil Malik. Janet Martin Clark. Daniel Martinez. Mark Matterhorn. Benjamin Mendoza III. Jim Moore. Kendra Moore. Dante Morales. Miles Matthew Murray. Valerie Ann Martinez Murray. Malise Ozturk. Gitsika Pathak. Matthew Petey Peterson. Blake Poutre. Melly Price. Kellen Ragsdale. Ashley Reed. Ryan Christopher Richards. Bruce Robinson Jr. Carlos Sanchez. Jesse Santana. Christian Forrest Sauce. John R. Schenk. Melissa A. Shea. Brian Shumway. Karen Mariella Siles. Shavanan Sirapiram. Jason Smith. Jacqueline Christina Snyder. Adam Steele. Annie Taylor. Mark Telez. Brandon Thurman. Murphy Ann Tigalar. Jasmine Tran. Michael Trevino. Alex Tyler. Manju Virabhadrapa. Angela Nichelle Watson. Brent Wellington. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2019 Master's Degree graduates in Technology Commercialization.
Congrats, guys. Now we have a few awards to present. First, the Kosmetsky Scholar Award honors Dr. George M. Kosmetsky, who served as the Dean of the McCombs School of Business for 16 years. Kosmetsky scholars earned an overall grade point average of 4.0. Yeah, that's as good as it gets during their entire MSTC education, so it's a very rare feat indeed. This year we have 2 Kosmetsky scholars, and I'm proud to present this award today to Michael Brown and Brian Shumway. The next award recognizes the student that exhibits outstanding leadership as voted on by his or her peers. In 2016, the award was renamed the Gary Cadenhead Award in Outstanding Leadership to recognize the former program director. This year's Gary Cadenhead Award in Outstanding Leadership goes to Karen Sealis. The next award is the Outstanding Student Award and is nominated and selected by your MSTC faculty and staff. I'm proud to present this year's Outstanding Student Award to Angela Watson.
Thank you very much.
And now the Kate Mackey Outstanding Faculty Award, named in honor of a longtime MSTC faculty member who retired last year. Kate taught marketing, so it's fitting that this year's winner is the person who took over the marketing course upon Kate's retirement. And while she is unable to be with us today, I ask you to join me in a warm round of applause for this year's winner, Dr. Jay Dekender. And now I'd like to welcome Karen Sealis back to the stage to share a few words as our student speaker.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, MSTC staff, faculty, families, and classmates. I'm humbled and honored to be speaking to you today, especially because I feel that I've spent the last year among talented and intellectual individuals that I have had the privilege to call my classmates. As I was given this honor, I would like to begin telling you the journey of the MSTC class of 2019. Before I continue, I would be remiss if I did not thank our families, significant others, and friends who have supported us along this year. It means a lot to the graduates to have had a strong support system like you. So thank you. A year ago this week, we were finishing up our first intensive week. A week where 90 professionals came together from 15 different countries and 23 distinct industries to achieve the common goal of obtaining a master's from the top 6% graduate entrepreneurship program in the United States. During this journey, we bonded through tears of joy and fear over various courses throughout the 3 semesters, mainly because we understood the sacrifices that we made every day to get here. I still remember our first intensive week, working through tears because of our first accounting assignment, as well as studying for weeks for the finance and the statistics final. and feeling defeated, but then realizing everyone else felt the same way. Those moments are the ones I knew that I was lucky to have the best teammates, Team Esteban, and lucky to have the classmates that cared enough to coach me through the dark times into the light. This class has come together to support one another when faced with hardships, such as family emergencies or illnesses, but have also come together to promote each other and celebrate our successful moments, including some recent family additions. We learned some hard lessons about entrepreneur life, in particular from Dr. Rob Adams' class, that 90% of startup businesses are bound to fail. However, being in this program has given us the right tools to increase those odds. Being an entrepreneur is extremely difficult if you don't have the right founding team, and if you're not solving a problem that someone is willing to pay for. This lesson also translates for those of us who want to stay in corporate America. A technology can only be competitive and successful if you have customers and the right team to execute your go-to-market plan. Even though our journey together is officially coming to an end today, we cannot forget that what starts here changes the world. I believe that this slogan was made for our class, as I'm surrounded by great innovators, intellectual leaders, and individuals who have competitive edge over any other graduate of the McCombs School of Business. When thinking of important lessons we have learned, the 3 stages of market validation come to mind for me to give a message to my classmates. Ready phase. Through completion of this program, you have enough tools in your belt to better equip you to start a successful business. You now know how to validate your market, write quick looks, create business plans, pitch to investors, understand balance sheets, use Monte Carlo simulations to predict business decisions, create operation plans, execute operation plans, and above all, understand your customer before launching a business. Sorry, page not turning. Aim phase. Through this program, some of you have been building great technologies and businesses, and you have narrowed down your target customers. But for those of you who have not, take this time to start thinking of your problems you would like to solve, where you can validate your customer segment. Or perhaps it's a good moment to pivot from your current idea. Ensure that you are passionate about the next problem you're trying to solve, as we all now understand the complexity of starting a company or a nonprofit. The fire phase. This is your time. For those of you who are ready to take your technology forward, I wish you the best. You will make the MSTC faculty and staff peers very proud. If you're not ready, don't think you have to take the first technology or role that comes your way post-graduation. I have full confidence in your abilities to find the right path and then fire when you're ready to launch. Despite the program coming to an end, the memories we built will live in our hearts forever. You should feel proud of yourselves and the accomplishments you've made, so I welcome you to embrace today and let it all sink in. Personally, I will cherish all the friendships, connections, and conversations we shared, including the various stories of Washington, D.C., Colombia, Portugal, Vietnam, and Malaysia experiences. Above all, remember to trust your gut. Build a close circle of advisors and confidants that can call your baby ugly. I want to make a pact with you today that we will keep lifting each other up and supporting each other throughout the years. I hope each and every one of you can continue to innovate with solutions that will affect the world and change in a positive way. I look forward to hearing about your success at our Founders Dinner, and I wish you only the best. To Team Esteban, Cami, Bruce, JP, and Ben, I love you and you're my family. We did it! Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karen, for that heartfelt speech. Graduates, no matter where you go next, we hope you'll stay connected to MSTC, the McCombs School of Business, and the University of Texas at Austin. Stay informed about the issues that affect our hard-earned reputation and the value of your degree. Joining the Texas X's is a place to start. With more than 106,000 members and 150 chapters and networks in 176 countries around the world, the association is a powerful force for good. By becoming a life member of the Texas X's, you'll help promote, protect, and give back to the place that changed your life forever. Graduates, be sure to pick up your alumni gift during the reception. Following the singing of the Eyes of Texas, we ask that all friends and family remain seated until the faculty and graduates have exited the ballroom. Graduates will be taking one final class photo on the plaza upstairs, so please follow staff to the photo location. Family and friends, please join us just outside the ballroom, my left, your right, for a celebratory reception at the conclusion of today's commencement exercises. Now, those who have witnessed me karaoke in Malaysia know I'm not the best singer. So I'd like to ask a few of you to join me on stage and help lead us in the singing of the Eyes of Texas. So a few volunteers, please.